ముళ్ళ బాటలు నడిచి నాకు పూల బాటనిచ్చిన మా నాన్నకు హ్యాపీ ఫాదర్స్ డే నాన్న. ఓ నాన్న నీ మనసే వెన్న అమృతం కన్నా అది ఎంతో మిన్న. ఓ నాన్న హ్యాపీ ఫాదర్స్ డే నాన్న.
హ్యాపీ ఫాదర్స్ డే అబ్బా.
సో ఫాదర్స్ అందరికీ హ్యాపీ ఫాదర్స్ డే. హాయ్ అండి, నమస్తే. అందరు ఎలా ఉన్నారు? బాగున్నారా? సో మీరు ఎవరన్నా ఫస్ట్ టైం నా ఛానల్ చూస్తున్నారా? సో నా పేరు చైతన్య అండి, మా హస్బెండ్ పేరు మంజునాథ్ అండి. సో మాకు ఒక చిన్ని బాబు ఉన్నాడు, తన పేరు వచ్చేసి కౌటిల్య అండి. సో మేము యూఎస్లో ఉంటాము. సో నా ఛానల్లో చాలా రకాలైన వీడియోస్ ఉన్నాయండి. సో ట్రావెల్ వీడియోస్, ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వీడియోస్, వ్లాగ్స్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి. సో ఒకసారి చెక్అవుట్ చేయండి, మీకు నచ్చితేనే నా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. అండ్ నా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకొని సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్న వాళ్ళందరికీ చాలా అంటే చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. సో ఈ వీడియో వచ్చేసి ఫిలడెల్ఫియా బస్ టూర్ వీడియో అండి. సో ఈ బస్ వచ్చేసి ఓపెన్ బస్ అండి. అండ్ ఫిలడెల్ఫియా బస్ టూర్ వీడియోలో రా ఫుటేజే ఉంటుంది. సో చాలా మందికి అమెరికా ఎలా ఉంటుంది, అమెరికాలో రోడ్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయని సో చాలా క్యూరియాసిటీ ఉంటుంది కదా. సో నా ప్రీవియస్ వీడియోస్లో మీరు ఫ్లోరిడాలో రోడ్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయో చూసారు కదండి. సో ఇప్పుడు మనము అదర్ స్టేట్కి వచ్చాము. సో ఇది పెన్సిల్వేనియా స్టేట్లోని ఫిలడెల్ఫియాలో రోడ్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయో చూద్దాం. ఫిలడెల్ఫియా బస్ టూర్ వీడియోలో మీరు ఫిలడెల్ఫియా మొత్తం ఒక్క వీడియోలోనే చూసేస్తారు. సో మీకు ఈ వీడియో బాగా నచ్చుతుందని అనుకుంటున్నానండి. సో ఇంకా కంటిన్యూగా వీడియో చూసేయండి.
Cityhall, over 600 rooms.
Wow, 600 rooms.
Second Empire French architecture. 88 million bricks. The walls are 22 feet thick at the bottom. There are 250 sculptures around the building done by the patriarch of the famous American sculpting family called the Caldors. Alexander Milne Calder was responsible for all of the sculptures around it. Over 600 rooms. That still wasn't enough because we're going to pass another building that they built because this one wasn't big enough. After about 50 years, they wanted to knock this building down because it's all masonry. There's no place to put the ductwork. They want the cool air. By Mayan Aboriginal people of Central America and their ornamentation. The Masonic temple over here is open for tours. The Egyptian room, the hieroglyphics, they went to Luxor in Egypt in the 1860s and they copied the hieroglyphics off of walls out of Luxor, and they came back and they put it on the one of the lodge room walls. Students of archaeology from the University of Pennsylvania have come over to study our hieroglyphics. This building to the right here is another municipal building because the 600 rooms across the street wasn't enough. I can't explain that big sculpture back there called Government Other People, but I can explain the one on the bottom here. It's called Your Move. A bunch of old Indiana love sculpture right to the lake. Here people are getting pictures of that sculpture. And Robert Indiana had no romance on his mind when he made that sculpture. Actually, he didn't make the original sculpture. He made a design. It was in 1964 that he made a design for a Christmas card. When you get, Aaron, people, they're stopping. Aaron, people want to get off. Okay. Got some people coming down. Railroads are from Philadelphia. We just left the Reading terminal. Here's the Pennsylvania. There used to be the short line in the B&O. The creator of Monopoly, who stole the idea, was from that guy. All the streets in Monopoly are from 50 miles east of here, from Atlantic City, New Jersey. We are good up here. The beer garden's open. Philadelphia loves beer. Some wonderful beer conventions, festivals, lots of craft brewers.
buildings, like tall buildings.
If you're into it, you can search the topic online and you can get plenty of guidance. Okay, we are about to make a left at this intersection onto the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. The inspiration for this street was the Champs-Élysées in Paris. So the Albanian flag, okay, so there's 111 flags here representing nationalities that have a significant presence here in Philadelphia. And number one is the Albanians. Wow.
Albanians.
And they all go in alphabetical order except for the Israeli flag, which was shifted over here next to the Horowitz-Wasserman Holocaust Memorial Plaza here, quite memorial here in the United States. Everybody else is in alphabetical order except for the Italian and the Polish flags, because of the recent wars were shifted over by the cathedral we're about to pass. Every flag is correct except for one that's been pointed out to me multiple times by tourists. The Swiss flag over here on the left, although the colors, and I've had people point that out to me, it's up on the left here. Got the fifth flag up. It's the last flag before the intersection. Okay. There's a present from the Polish community in Philadelphia here, a sculpture to Copernicus. Copernicus was very important in coming forth and taking a very daring stand and saying the sun was the center of the universe. But he was during the scientific revolution. It was part of the Enlightenment, and during the political revolutions and political enlightenment and scientific enlightenment. So, and then over here is Thaddeus Kosciuszko, another Polish man who came over during the American Revolution, and he was an engineer, and he designed West Point on military fort and academy. Something's happening at the church here. As soon as we get past these trees, well, we're not going to get there, but if you look over here, well, you can almost see it. There's a beautiful fountain over here called the Swan Fountain, named after a Dr. Tom. You want to get off, Aaron? People want to get off. All right, hold. Yeah, people are coming down. You getting off? Okay.
Don't touch, can't put.
These three figures in this middle of this sculpture here that you can't see are three Native American people representing the three major rivers in the area, the Schuylkill. As soon as we pass these trees, look to the right. This is my newest favorite piece of architecture. This is the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church. It looks a little dull, but when you get close to it, there's a pinkish tint to it, all the way to the right there. Looks like something right from Walt Disney World. I mean, at nighttime, it's just absolutely magical. It's sparkling with light. These two buildings over here are exact copies of palaces on the Place de la Concorde on the Champs-Élysées. Our free library is called the Free Library because up to the time that this was created in the early 1900s, libraries were by subscription. Another important thing about this library is, although the exterior is an exact copy of a palace on the Place de la Concorde, the interior was designed by a man named Julian Abel. He was the first African-American graduate of architecture from the University of Pennsylvania. If you're a sports fan and you're familiar with Duke University and those magical buildings, he was responsible for a lot of them. There's a baseball player named Dizzy Dean. He said It ain't bragging if you can do it, so I'm going to start bragging about 3 art museums coming up here, and I'm going to say that they're 3 of the greatest foundational artists that are in there is Philippe, or 69 Paul Cézanne paintings in there, 59 Matisses, and 46 Picassos, in addition to Egyptian art, Chinese antiquities, wonderful African collection, and Foundation. On the next block, we will have the Auguste Rodin Museum, the largest collection of Rodin sculptures. Auguste Rodin's creation. If you look through the doorway there, up against the wall, there's a sculpture, a panel, 13 feet high, 6-7 feet wide. It's called The Gates of Hell. Auguste Rodin was inspired by Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy to create The Gates of Hell. That's actually where the thinker comes off of. Actually, the thinker is supposed to be called the poet. Rodin wanted to represent like a thinker, so the name stuck and the poet went. But they have no idea. This building on the left is very interesting architecturally. If you were to go to stand out in the middle of this baseball field and look at this brown brick apartment complex over here, it would look like a Mayan temple from Central America. It looked like a step temple. It really does if you get out there. Elizabeth Fleischer, thinking of the Mayans and their worship of the sun, designed that building so as the sun moves across the sky during the day, every unit gets. The next stop on our trip would be Eastern State Penitentiary. So before Eastern State Penitentiary, there was the Walnut Street Jail, where they would brand your hand, whip you, pillory you, put you in stocks, or execute you. You would feel penitence, you would feel regret for your crimes, and in order to get you to that point, they would put you in solitary confinement. They'd give you a Bible, teach you a skill, and you would have no human contact ever. So eventually they needed the space and they started cohabitating people, but it was known as the Pennsylvania system. We will see that in a minute. So before we get there, we're going to pass my favorite mansion in the city. The Bergdahl Mansion coming up past this church. This house was paid for by German loggers. The Bergdahls made their fortune here. 8 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms. All right. This is one of the key spots where you do not want to stand up. Oh. We're coming under a low wire. We are in the Art Museum neighborhood of Philadelphia. Poor sections. And I bought my house in 2014 for $100,000. At the other end of my block, there's a 2-unit one, a few doors down, is on the market for $570,000. Now this is North Philadelphia. I'm going to guess anywhere from $500,000 up to $750,000, or to $1 million maybe. So they rent in my neighborhood for about $1,200 a month. In Fishtown and Northern Liberties, which are... I'm going to show you some other examples of real estate. It's not $1 anymore. But look to the right, that's the one doorway into the Eastern State Penitentiary. They had Halloween events here. Oh, we have some buses that are higher. Here's the Perlman building on shop number 11, beautiful insurance building. An annex to the Philadelphia Museum of Art for storage and exhibition space. Beautiful Art Deco all around this building. They don't make insurance buildings like this anymore. Although I don't know what Louis XVI was thinking, exactly what they did to him. Anyway. I don't know. For some reason, there could be a statue somewhere. He certainly played a function. He did name Independence Hall Independence Hall. It was just the assembly room of the called it our. He came back for a visit about 30 years after the Revolution, and he referred to our Hall of Independency. Okay, people on the right, watch your eyes. The branch comes down. The country that supported us the most, though, financially, was the Netherlands. The rebels were most financial support. Oh yeah, it's gonna be at least $20 at least. There's also another organization called NORM, N-O-R-M, and there's another one called, but you join. So let's say it costs the Museum of the American Revolution. There's also a museum. For Rocky, is anybody coming off this bus for Rocky? So, every single day of the year, people are lining up to pay homage to Rocky. We're out here getting their picture taken with Rocky. The story certainly resonates with people. This is the 46th anniversary of that story. It was original dollars. Okay, you guys gotta sit down because he's gonna go into some fast traffic here, so please sit down.
I love taking photo.
Hello?
In South Philly. So, way different Philly than there's a big.
All right, everybody's going to have to sit down because he's going to start getting into some busy traffic here. So, the story is, I don't know if that's people just jealous, or I do know that someone took the run he makes through the city and they measured between all the spots. If you actually that before work in the morning. Fairmount Park, Snoozy Shoe Central Park is about 847 acres. Our Fairmount Park is over 2,000 acres. All the way to the right there, you can't see it, but it's called the Schuylkill River, and it means hidden river in Dutch. There is a 100-mile trail that runs in. There's also, if you go backwards from us, there's Boathouse Row. So if you're coming here tomorrow, take a walk on the other side of the museum, where all the colleges come and do their rowing races. They have their very old and fancy. If you're a Comcast or Xfinity cable customer, that's where all your money's going. The building to the right is the Comcast Technology Center. That is the 15th tallest building in the country. The building to the left, it's supposed to look like a giant cell phone. The building to the left is supposed to look like a giant flash drive, and that's another Comcast cable building. So there's the lobbies. The lobbies in there have artwork and displays, and they're pretty interesting buildings.
Then we walk this way.
Wow.
There is a flag, right?
Exhibit. They have brought sets from the making of the movie Harry Potter here that you can see. Well, you gotta get online and see if there's tickets. It's extremely popular. There's nothing to stop you from just showing up and seeing if something's open. So let you in. The College of Art, that is the first art academy for women in art in the country, right over here. To the left of that is the Natural History Museum of Drexel University in Philadelphia. If you like big scary things with big scary claws and big scary teeth, they have 60 dinosaur skeletons over there and a full Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's too big. Rex, not X. All year long. What a joy this is. Okay, over to the left, Mural Arts, muralarts.org. Philadelphia has a mural arts program. There are over 4,000 murals around the city. That was started. There was people who were upset with graffiti artists, tag arts program. Started to collect things that go wrong with the human body, so other doctors and scientists. You can get on YouTube if you don't have the time to see it, and visit the curators have a lot of shows where they bring things out. They have Changanang Bunker's liver in there, the Siamese twins, or the men that we get the name Siamese twins from, a body cast of their body that they made when they died. You know, they were married for about 30 years, and they married 2 sisters. And they had 20-some kids. They could have put Oprah and Dr. Phil out of business before relationship talk because they lasted all that time and they died natural deaths. But there's also an example of the soap lady is in here. So if your family buries you in the backyard and the conditions are perfect, you can turn it into a bar of soap, which this one woman did, and so did her partner. The Smithsonian got the male, we got the female. And there's also a skull collection in there. There's in your wildest nightmares, you can't imagine anyway. Oh, I've been there for beer gardens, I've been there for orphan talks. I saw the Raven Keeper from the Tower of London give a book talk there. It's also one of the most popular wedding venue places now in the city, amongst all of that stuff. Okay. Beach. Over here. We are heading east. City Hall is straight ahead again.
PS.
The PS got the
Oh, okay.
the statue.
That one Liberty was incredible. Be able to get up and top of City Hall. I don't know what the story is that is. Things changed so much because of COVID. It's hard to keep up with it. Philadelphia hired a sculptor named Clive Oldenburg to come up with something to represent the 200th anniversary of the country. And he came up with a clothespin. So some people see a 7 and a 6 in there. Some people get snarky and say it represents the dirty laundry of City Hall being hung out across the street. Some people see, here's your one Rorschach test of the trip, some people see 2 people hugging and kissing right there. And you'll never look at a clothespin the same again. Dilworth Plaza over here at the base of our City Hall. So there's a kids splash park over there, there's roller skating, there's summer, in the wintertime there was ice skating in here. Music, food, I see craft sellers over there. There could be yoga out there. People playing lawn games over there. Really fun, happy place to hang out here. This Dilworth Starbucks in the bushes right there. Each side side of City Hall is dedicated to a different continent. That side was North America, this side is Africa. They will have animals specific to those continents. Up in the middle here, there's a African camel, North Africa. That's a statue of Octavius Cato, activist, civil rights fighter from the middle 19th century. Those 5 granite pillars represent the trolley cars that he fought to desegregate. So if you got on late, there are 250 sculptures all around this building, on the outside and the inside. They blend right in, but if you have time, Camel's Mouth from here. Okay, we are going on to our Avenue of the Arts. So this is our theater district, but it's kind of a misnomer because there's only 4 theaters here, but there's theaters all over Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a very artsy town for performing arts, fine arts. What's missing architecturally is Queen Anne, but here we have some Victorian architecture over here. One of the only examples. This is the Union League Club. This was started to raise money for President Lincoln's Union cause during the Civil War. If you saw the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, they filmed there. No, you got me on that one. Very posh and very hard to get into, very expensive. A friend of mine got it a couple of years ago, and she had to write an essay, spend a lot of money, and was interviewed by no less than 20-some people at the same time. She walked into a room where she was vetted and by. Anyway, Bellevue, beautiful hotel. Bram Stoker wrote some of Dracula in this building. I've seen his notes on the stationery. They are at the Rosenbach Museum and Library here in town. I don't know why, but it looks like a vampire hotel to me. I don't know if it's the ironwork or the etched glass. I don't know, but I feel vampire when I hear this. Okay, Aaron, we got a couple of people coming down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Coming up on the right, this red brick building here, this is the Academy of Music, oldest continually operating opera house in the country. Everybody from Pavarotti to Bob Dylan. And I know Bob Dylan is certainly not opera, but I love Bob Dylan, and I've seen Bob Dylan in that building. Shaka Compton was in here, so it's used for many things. There's the theater, the Women's Theater, the Kibble Theater, and everything. Broadway show, ballet, Philadelphia, pops. I see Japanese drummers in here. Speaking of real estate, this building makes it look here at the top, $10 million. But I will get back to real estate in a little bit. If you look to the right, I love architecture. Here's Spanish Art Deco. Right to the right here, the Drake Hotel. A little washed out because of the sun, but the terracotta, it's just absolutely beautiful, the ornamentation on that building. University of Arts, Performing Arts, and Fine Arts, all mixed up in one now. The University of the Arts, reading shops. But if you're in a professional antiquer, you're not going to be happy exploring here. Philadelphia in World War II hit its peak population of 2 million people. Right at that point, 500,000 people left. And they attracted one specific community, came in here. You can see all these rainbow signs underneath a lot of street signs. The LGBT community moved in here, so much so that at one Pride Festival, somebody got a little cheeky and said it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and the name stuck, and Philadelphia has duck on the left.
Wait, let me get my shotgun.
Goose. Oh, see? Tour bus driving in Colonial Philadelphia should be an Olympic sport. I could not do it. These people should get... Our next site will be Pennsylvania Hospital, so if you have If medical talk is a trigger for you, this is the time to put your fingers in your ears. This hospital was commissioned and chartered in 1751 to Dr. Thomas Bond and Benjamin Franklin. 1751, it's been continuously in business ever since. It has never stopped being a hospital, these buildings. So, 1751, the surgical amphitheater was built in 1804. There's no they could do lithotomies. You really don't want to know about that one. About how they put a cake. There's the if you were rich, you would be operated on your kitchen table. If you were poor, you would no concept of germs. Zero. There's no antibiotics to the 1900s. There's no underfinger operation around town. So this is the precursor to the Jerry Springer show. So if you wanted to learn about a specific operation or watch a certain surgeon or just be entertained, you could buy a ticket or pence to come look at you. Look to the right. You will see the Reverend Richard Allen. He was a former slave who purchased his own property by African Americans. All right, duck on the left, duck on the left, duck on the left. Thank you, everybody. If you enjoyed the trip and appreciated it, Aaron and I certainly appreciate tips. We share our tips. I will be downstairs. Tell me with directions. And if you want to continue, there's one big mystery I can't answer. I don't know if this is the bus that's going to continue.
సో అదండి ఫిలడెల్ఫియా బస్ టూర్. ఎలా అనిపించిందండి? నచ్చింది కదండి మీకు అందరికీ వీడియో? సో ఇంకెందుకు ఆలస్యం అండి, లైక్ బటన్ ప్రెస్ చేయండి అండ్ మీ ఫ్యామిలీకి ఫ్రెండ్స్కి షేర్ చేయండి. సో మీరు ఇంకా మన ఛానల్కి కొత్త వాళ్ళైతే ప్లీజ్ డూ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు అవర్ ఛానల్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ వాచింగ్ దిస్ వీడియో. ఇంకొక బ్యూటిఫుల్ వీడియోతో మీ ముందుంటాను. అంతవరకు టేక్ కేర్, బాయ్.